Hello everyone, Chess Hoodie here. We continue the series Road to 2500, and before I show you the game, I just want to say that recently there has been a trend in my games in which I get good positions out of the opening and then I just botch them. I also started to play slowly. I don't know what's happening, but um, maybe until 2 months ago, I was getting equal positions from the opening or even bad positions and outplaying my opponents. And now the reverse is happening. Did it happen in this game? Let's see. So I was black and my opponent with the username Sudhira Dalja. I don't know how to read, very long name, with 2144, opened with d4. Knight f6, c4, d6. So you remember from the first video, this is the repertoire I promised that I will play, even though I don't know much about it. Knight c3, e5, and he went for a modest option, d5. Immediately I attacked with c6 with some ideas of organizing play on the queen side if possible. E4, bishop e7, and now a slightly strange move, g3. I don't know, given that the pawns are here, maybe this is not the best position for this bishop. Just my opinion, I'm not sure. Castles, bishop g2 and a5. So I'm securing these two squares for this knight eventually. And now he made a bad move. I think it's a bad move. f4. It's an attacking move, but he's not ready. His kingside pieces are still undeveloped, and the king is in the center. So I don't think this can work. Let's see how I reacted. cd5, cd5, and bishop g4. So I develop with a tempo. And let's see. Queen b3, another dubious decision because he should be defending his king, yeah, and his central pawns. So maybe queen c2 looks like a more prudent move. Uh, After queen b3, he's attacking this pawn, but can he really take it with his pieces still on the starting squares and king in the center? I'm not sure. So what I need to be careful is not to let him make problems with my bishop. For example, if I play knight bd7, he can go f5. And then this bishop is sort of trapped. There is this threat. I think I can save it or sacrifice it. It's complicated. I'm not going to go there. But I should avoid that. And that's why I took on f4. So ef4. Now he can never do that because he is missing one pawn. So he can chase my bishop, but he can never catch it. But here, my opponent played a horrendous move. He took this pawn on b7. So that's just horrendous because uh, my knight is coming out and it can go either to c5 or to b4, and I'm gonna gain some tempi, and my attack is just gonna develop naturally. So I don't know why he took this pawn. I was sure that I was winning here, and actually the computer shows that it's like almost -5 already. Okay, after g takes f4, it's -8. So he should have retreated his queen because it's going to give me some time, this queen. I'm going to win a lot of tempi. Look at this, gf4. So now I can choose either to go to b4 or to c5 with my knight, but I went to c5 because queen has only two squares, and one of them instantly drops the queen. For example, queen c6, bishop comes back, and the queen has no squares. Yeah. So he has to go to b5. And now, after rook b8, again he has only two squares. These two, and if he goes to c4, again I come at him with a tempo, and after queen f1, I just take on e4, and I regain the pawn, and he still has all the problems. That is the king. Yeah. But he went to a better square, queen f1, but still it's -8. This position is just completely lost. And now I wanted to capture this guy and to open his king, so for that I played rook e8. What's the idea? The idea is to take the pawn, give a check, and then support whatever is on the e4 square. He played h3, and here the natural move is bishop h5, but I wanted to be clever, so I wanted to attack him from this side, so I played bishop c8. Both moves are fine. The bishop h5 is slightly better, but this is very nice. You go to this side, then you come back, and maybe you transfer, or maybe you even go back later. You will see. So he played what did he play? Knight g2, and as planned, now this pawn is dropping. So I took there. Before taking, I was considering. I liked my position so much. You can see I have 4 minutes 22 seconds, and I spent about a minute considering bishop a6 or maybe knight d3. All of this seemed so crushing, and it is. But eventually I played the intended move, but you can see my clock on the bottom, only 3 minutes left. So after he takes with the bishop, if he reverses the order, if he takes with the knight, then I first take, just so he cannot save the piece. And after bishop e4, I give this check and I open my rook. King has to move, and I just take. Something similar happened in the game. He took with the bishop. Now I can give check immediately. His king moved. I took on e4, takes. And if you turn on the engine, it's -9. I didn't know that during the game, but I was sure that I'm totally winning here because of the difference in kings. Yeah, material is even, but all my pieces are developed. Okay, you can say that the bishop on c8 is not, but he's gonna come, and his king is just in mortal danger. He played queen f3, queen e7, b3. Now this bishop isn't doing much, so I went back, attacking the rook. Rook b1, and here I thought about going here, which was actually the best way to go. But I went to a6. I wasn't sure, and then I thought, okay, I'm just going to come there eventually. But I didn't see this move, rook h2. At this point, it's -11. But still, somehow he holds, because I thought that he's going to move this knight, and then I will give a check, I will come in with the bishop and win material. But after this, I couldn't see what to do next. But actually, there was a simple move. Rook e8. Just attack the knight. Force that knight to move, and then either penetrate here or here, and it's quickly finished. But I didn't see it. So I played rook c8, thinking that I will cut this king from escaping and do something. So he played bishop d2, and again rook to e8 was just game over. But I played h6. I wanted to make a luft. And I lost some of my advantage, but still it's winning. And after knight g3, I realized that my rook is trapped. I don't have a square. I mean, I do have rook d4, but then knight f5. And here, I was a little bit upset because I realized that I wasn't sure what's going on now. Actually, I'm still winning, but I didn't see it. So I thought that I lost my advantage, and I was upset because I was sure that I was completely crashing, and I was upset because this keeps happening in my games. Okay, not in this series, but in my Blitz games. I keep losing the winning positions or drawing them. So I was really upset here because I said, oh, it happened again. And here I missed a tactical opportunity. So I could have gone queen a7. And if he takes my knight, I just take with the queen, with the threat of queen g1. And it's not easy to parry. He can, for example, parry like this, but then I just pick up the pawn. Now I'm threatening to harass him from this side, and when the king moves, sorry, okay, harass him like this. When the king moves, then like this, I can at least win back the exchange. But maybe I don't need to. So I missed that. Also, if he doesn't take my rook, for example, he can try to pin me. Then I have this move. So I'm attacking his rook and his knight, so he's not going to win an exchange. That's and also a winning position. But I didn't see that. I thought I'm going to crash in here, so I played queen c7, but after he takes, just for one moment, he defends that square. And when I capture the knight, it's his move. So he plays rook c1, and that is not going to, I'm never going to give this check. And here, I made a wrong assessment. As you can see, my time is about 1 minute. Now I have 1 minute on the clock, so some sort of time trouble. We do get 5 seconds on each move, but still. So here I thought I need to keep my rook on the board, but actually this rook is a defender. So if we exchange these two rooks, I do have one less attacker, but he has one less defender. So I should have allowed, by moving my queen, let's say, to a7. I should have allowed this trade. But I wanted to prevent it, so I went bishop c5, blocking the line. And now he started to, now he's winning. So from -9 he got to +2.3. But he made a mistake instantly. He went for the attack, and that's the correct approach to attack, but he should have attacked along the G file, yeah, a line. So he should just attack like this. It's hard for me to defend with this coming and this coming. But okay, he gave me a chance. f5, queen e7, f6. Of course, I don't want to trade here and go into an endgame with the bad pawn structure. So I just played queen e5. Maybe that was possible too, to go to that endgame, but I didn't like it. And now he went rook gt, and now the chances are, it's not clear. After g6, the rook was attacked, by the way. After g6, I was happy again, because my confidence was back, because now I realized that I'm starting to get some chances. And he did take this pawn, but he's not going to checkmate me anymore. And I can start making trouble for him. I did it in a wrong way. I went for bishop b7, relinquishing the control of this square, and he had, again, good winning chances with rook e2, just dislodging my pieces. And if I go into this endgame, I think it's very bad. He cannot win material immediately, but slowly he will get me, because I lost a pawn there. Yeah, before that it was not good for him to go into that endgame, but now with me giving the pawn on h6, it was good. But here he went for fancy play, so he took on g6, and after this, yeah, he made a queen, but I gave back my rook. And what happened? Basically, if we go back a few moves, so he traded this rook for this rook and this pawn for this pawn, and also he dislodged his queen. So let's see that again. Takes, takes, check, moves, promotes, takes, takes. And he gave me a move. So it was his move, and he had many active pieces, and now he traded his strongest pawn, and he traded his best rook, and he put his queen into my camp, but it has okay, it has threats, but and he gave me the move, so that was a bad exchange for him. So now I took on d5 with the check, and here Now I was sure I'm not going to lose, but as you can see, I only have 23 seconds, so basically I didn't have any time to calculate. Maybe some people can calculate with 20 seconds. I couldn't do it. So I was sure I have a perpetual, and also here, like, he played bishop d2, and that's the only move. I'm not gonna, the video will be too long if I show you now all the lines, but the thing is, king here loses, king here loses, king here loses. So that was the only move, to block there. Then I gave a check. I also have to be precise, because here, okay, it's easy to see, but this is my only move, this check. And after king b2, I have two checks, with queen or with bishop. And one is losing, one keeps the balance. And I found the right one, because after queen e5, he just escapes, yeah? I have to go here, and he goes to safety. And now it's his, I have no checks, and he's gonna do something to me. So we both danced on the edge here, and let's see who made the first mistake. And he had time, so for him it was much easier, because he had 5 minutes and I had only 15 seconds now. You see, king b2, bishop d4, bishop c3, queen e2 check, and here he made a losing move, but let's see if I took advantage of it. So he should have gone back, and now there are interesting options. Queen d2 leads to perpetual, but what I saw was this, and that's why, okay, it didn't happen, but I saw something like this. Check, king b2, queen d2, and here, if he goes back, he gets checkmated. So he needs to sacrifice a rook, like this, and after I take it, he has a perpetual. So I'll just show an example, something like this. It's a perpetual check. I can block with my queen, but it's also perpetual. So here he gave me, he should have gone back to draw, but he went here, and this is now a checkmate. Let's see, bishop c5, b4, ab, bishop b4, and here was the problem. You see, I have 24 seconds, and I know there must be a checkmate here, but I just couldn't calculate. And I saw that in some lines, if I give the wrong check, he's just going to escape. So I had to be very careful. Had I had, I don't know how much time I needed, but I just couldn't. I couldn't calculate. So I went for repetition. On every time when he goes to a3, I can checkmate him by going queen d3. So this leads to checkmate. It's not so hard. Let's say he goes like this. I can give this check, and let's say he blocks. Okay, maybe you think, what if he blocks with the bishop? Well, then I think queen, is it queen d2, bishop? Sorry, I can't remember. But it is there. It is there, and the computer agrees, and I felt it, but I couldn't calculate. And you see, even now I cannot see it. So maybe because I'm making a video, so my focus is not really the best. So I was now happy with the draw, because at some point I thought I was losing. So it was not the worst result. I didn't lose, but still it's not good, because I had I don't know, a crashing position, an overwhelming position that he had no business coming back to. Yeah, but I allowed it, and then I panicked, and then my brain just stopped working. Okay, I did manage to fight to some extent, and eventually even get to winning position, but then I was not up to the task. As you can see, at the end I had 33 seconds, but I just felt like I don't see anything. So I accepted that fact and agreed to a draw. Alright, so that was game 11. Hopefully in the next game things will go better for me. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you again. Bye.